Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Safety Systems. Christmas is over and you've got new stuff in your home. Protect it. Nobody provides better security systems, offers better contracts, or gives you better maintenance and upkeep than Safety Systems. Go local. Don't go with the national guys. You get a better deal from VFL JJ Surlis and his team at Safety Systems. Check them out online or give them a call this week. All right, let's have a little fun here. Let me go ahead and have everybody hold up their wipey boards here. We're going to do a quick little contest comparison. This year's team versus three great teams from Tennessee's last 20 years. All right, and the teams we've got, let's take a look here at Jimmy's board. He's got the 2018-2019 Vols, 31-6 on the year. They were number 6 in the final AP poll. Number 2 seed, lost in the Sweet 16 to Purdue. You see who the starters were. Their average score that year was 82-70. And at the bottom, you've got their bench. Now, let's take a look at Josh Ward and Chuck are both there. Josh, 2007-2008, went 31-5 that year. It was a great team. That was the first team to be number 1 for Tennessee. This one, of course, was number 1 for a month. But 2007-2008, finished number 5. Also a number 2 seed, also lost in the Sweet 16 to Louisville. Lofton and then the Smith boys were all there. 82-70 was their average score as well, and you get the bench players at the bottom. 99-2000, going back to Jerry Green's team. 26-7 overall, number 11 in the AP poll. They were a 4 seed, lost in the Sweet 16 to North Carolina. And you see their team, 80-68 was their average score. I think it's interesting. Those three teams are all basically the exact same average score. All right. Quickly, if this is a 4-team tournament, where does this current Tennessee team, tell me this, what's the first team out? Isaiah Victor, who's on our show, won't like me, but I'm going to guess it's that one because I think that was a team of great athletes, but I would put Jerry Green behind Bruce Pearl and Rick Barnes on the coaching.
Well, there's a reason they're the number 4 seed, John. So that's why I think, I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, it would not be the 4 seed to me in talent, but it would be as a team because of coaching.
Mm-hmm.
What if I took the coaching out? What if we just looked at the roster? It's an athletic team.
Yeah, I do too.
That starting talent's pretty darn good.
Yep. Yarbrough, Hayslip. I mean, Hayslip was on your bench. He wound up getting drafted into the league, I think.
First round.
Yeah. I forgot he was first round.
Yeah, high draft pick by the Bucks.
Yeah.
He might have been a lottery pick, close to it.
Man, I'd completely forgotten that. It shows how much I loved that team. All right. And Isaiah Victor is going to be upset with me. All right, so that leaves us with these two. All right, 2007-2008. And 2018-2019, which one's the next one out? Which team is better than the other one of those two?
Well, that game might go into overtime.
You, maybe I'm cheating here. Do we think the current team is one of the top 2, or would we put the current team out?
I don't think the sample size is enough to make the current team better than these two.
Well, sample size,
which is part of the challenge, but
that's the fun of it.
I know, but
I would have the current team. Obviously, not having seen how the season will play out in the top 2.
I would too.
Okay. There, Chuck. They know how to play the game. All right, so which one's the first one out here?
Chuck.
Who beats who?
Chuck's out. I like this team. This team, I thought it was very well-rounded. I thought they played really good defense. I thought this was a tremendous basketball team. And they were number 1 for a long time.
Full month, yeah.
Yeah.
And I had pointed out that team fell behind several times by double digits, and it's like they came alive. And they just had that spirit to come back and win. And that's what I think puts them over the top a little.
Okay, 2018-2019 better than 2007-2008?
It's awfully close because this team was really good. Chris Lofton, I think, is going to start knocking down some shots against the team that Jimmy's holding up. The Louisville matchup was awful. For that Tennessee basketball team. Mm-hmm. I remember showing up in Charlotte watching practice and seeing Terrence Williams and company and thinking, length is going to be an issue. I would take this team, but I don't have an issue if you choose Jimmy's.
That puts it on. Well, would you take Jimmy's, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'll go with Jimmy's too, so we'll just move on. So we got 2 Rick Barnes teams. Which is better, current or that one? In terms of just talent we're looking at right now, and I know it's a short sample size, do you like this roster on this year's team better than that one?
I like the depth on this year's team a lot better than this depth. I mean, you look at Pons, but Pons wasn't the player then that he is now. You look at Fulkerson. Fulkerson wasn't the player then that he is now. I think the depth on this year's team is better than this one. I'd probably take this starting lineup, but considering the importance of depth, I might go with this year's team.
I think athleticism, I give it to this year's team. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm there. So,
Okay.
okay.
Like more draft picks on this year's team, I think, higher picks.
Good point. We'll
So-
see if that turns out to be true because we all just picked this tier's team in terms of talent over those past 3 really good Tennessee basketball teams. And we didn't even put in the Elite 8 team because that team wasn't as good as some of these other teams. They just had a good run of the tournament. All right, when we come back, Tennessee plays Missouri this week. Rick Barnes versus Conzo Martin. We'll talk about what the score might be. Come on back on the Sports Horse.